So when we go on power trips, it's important to have an orientation, because on power trips, things are different. I like to liken it to scuba diving. So I remember the first time I took my students on a power trip, it was Joshua Tree, beautiful place of power in the desert outside of Los Angeles. And we went there and I said, okay, we got out of our Jeeps or something. And I was like, all right, so now this is gonna be different. It's like when you're on the surface, you're looking around, you're used to it, right? It's like physics is normal to you this way. And then once you jump in the water, you submerge yourself, you plunge into the ocean, then things are different. You're buoyant. It's like you have the resistance of the water. There's refraction, so things look bigger, different, and brighter. You lose certain colors. So being underwater, there's a different feeling, a different experience. And so when you go to a place of power, when you're on a power trip, it's an experience where you go into different fields of energy, different dimensions of awareness. And then therefore your experience of life and reality shifts. Your consciousness expands, your awareness kind of is altered so that you can be aware of more things, deeper things about the heart, the spirit. So I remember I was diving off of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and it's important to have a dive briefing, the place you haven't been before. So there's where the dive master can show you, this is where you can see the manta rays. This is where you find the giant clam. Over here, there's some sharks. So you know what to look out for. You know the lay of the land. If you go to the left, you can see the seahorse, or if you go to the right, that's where there could be some fire coral. So you understand what the dangers are and what the attractions are. So you understand on this venture what you're getting into so that you could negotiate that different atmosphere, that different place in a successful way. Yeah, so I remember on my first dive on the Great Barrier Reef, after getting this dive briefing, this orientation, I was swimming along happily, and then I'm looking down and I'm seeing fish and coral, and then I see this thing, and it's like this big kind of rock. It's about 2 meters long, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow, it's funny that it kind of looks like a clam. And then I'm like a giant clam. And then I remembered the briefing. There's these giant clams. It looked giant. The Great Barrier Reef has giant clams. So it's important to be able to know what's going on. Because if I didn't remember the briefing, I could have gone past that thing and said, there was a rock down there that looked like a clam. But it couldn't have been because it was too big. And it's important to notice these things. So when you go and you're in the place of power, and it's like, don't miss this part where your meditation is magnified. And then you'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. That was a big clam of a meditation. So the orientation is important. It gets you prepared for your experience.